Hello everyone, have a good day. Today I'm gonna tell you about a story by any find, infectiously funny and highly readable, independent. The title of the book is On Planet Fruitcake. Hope you enjoy it. Well, let me tell you about the problem of this book. She said, problem. Poor Philip had a problem. Everyone else adored his teacher, Miss Dove. They thought she was the nicest, kindest teacher in the whole school. We are so lucky that we are in her class, Beth kept on telling everyone. Yes, Peter agreed. She never gives us vinegary looks, the way the janitor does when we come in on wet mornings, tracking mud all over his clean floors, or makes her mouth go tight and crimpy like Mrs. Edmund does when she's getting ready. Philip said nothing, but he wasn't so sure. He liked Miss Dove. Of course he did. She was so gentle, but every time she called him up to her desk for a private chat, she said the very same thing. Philip, you're always so quiet when we have class discussions. You never put up your hand to tell us what you think, do you? Suppose you might be a little shy? Poor Philip always shrugged it. He didn't believe he was shy. He made as much noise as anyone else in the playground. He cheered as loudly as everyone else when he heard there was pizza for lunch. But he was quiet in class. He couldn't think of anything he really wanted to say. If Miss Dove asked him a question like, does metal float? Or what are 7 trees? He answered quickly enough. But when they talked about things in the class, Philip could never think of anything to add to what the others had all said already. So he was quiet. What was wrong with that? But was still going on about how lucky they were. Miss Dove never snaps at us like Mr. Haggard does when he catches us mucking about in the corridors. No, Astrid said, and her eyes never go all narrow like a cat's, and flash the scary way Miss Glendon's do if you forget your sports stuff. Still Philip said nothing. He was remembering the last time his mom and dad came back from meeting Miss Dove on Parents' Evening. She says, you're very quiet in class, his mom had told him. Too quiet? Said his dad. She says you don't join in class discussions. Why is that? Philip, are you a little scared of her? Scared of Miss Dove? How could you ever be scared of Miss Dove? She never made them jump by hissing at them to be quiet, like Mr. Pound, or gave them really fierce looks, like Mrs. Carter did if ever they whispered in assembly. She was the nicest teacher he'd ever had. Still, on his end-of-term report she would written, Philip must try to make more of an effort to speak up in the class discussions. Not that it was easy to get a word in edgeways with his class. Someone was always talking. Even now, James was giving everyone another reason why Miss Dove was the best teacher they could ever have. She never tell us off as strictly as Miss Trout does, or shouts at us like Mrs. Moran does when she'd had enough. Miss Dove would never, ever, ever lose her temper. We are so lucky. Beth reminded them all over again. We are lucky, lucky, lucky to have Miss Dove. And Believe just stayed very quiet. Well, everyone, just it. It was the chapter 1 about the problem. So, see you on the next video podcast about On Planet Fruitcake by Annie Find on the chapter 2. See ya. Have a great day. Thank you.